Hi guys, welcome to my channel. And today we'll talk about 5 mythical sea monsters. We will find out where they could have appeared in the culture of different people and what actually they are. Enjoy watching. Opens our top one of the most terrifying ocean being called sea serpent, a type of dragon sea monster described in various mythologies, most notably Mesopotamian, Hebrew, Greek, and Norse. In antiquity and in the Bible, dragons were envisioned as huge serpentine monsters, which means that the image of a dragon with 2 or 4 legs and wings came much later during the late Middle Ages. Stories depicting sea-dwelling serpents may include the Babylonian myths of Tiamat, the myths of the Hydra, Scylla, Cetus, and Echidna in Greek mythology, and even the Leviathan. In Norse mythology, Jormungandr was a sea serpent so long that it encircled the entire world. Midgard. Some stories report of sailors mistaking its back for a chain of islands. Sea serpents also appear frequently in later Scandinavian folklore, particularly in that of Norway. In 1028, Saint Olaf is said to have killed a sea serpent in Valdal, Norway, throwing its body onto the mountain Siltafjella. Marks on the mountain are associated with the legend. In Swedish ecclesiastic and writer Olaus Magnus's Carta Marina, many marine monsters of varied form, including an immense sea serpent, appear. In his 1555 work History of the Northern People, Magnus gives the following description of a Norwegian sea serpent: those who sail up along the coast of Norway to trade or to fish. All tell the remarkable story of how a serpent of fearsome size, 60 meters, or even 120 meters long, and 6 meters wide, resides in rifts and caves outside Bergen. On bright summer nights this serpent leaves the caves to eat calves, lambs and pigs, or it fares out to the sea and feeds on sea nettles, crabs and similar marine animals. It has long hair hanging from its neck, sharp black scales and flaming red eyes. It attacks vessels, grabs and swallows people, as it lifts itself up like a column from the water. Norwegian Bishop Erik Pontoppidan is more cautious than the Archbishop of Uppsala and does not believe that the sea snake they would also be hunted. On the other hand, according to credible sailors, he acts to wrap the ship around with plenty of long bodies and pull him down into the deep in every way. If the sailors approach, he will see as a defense make something bigger, such as a paddle. A shovel is thrown in front of him, and a deceived animal receives this, and with it falls down into the water. Next, one ocean beast in our top is called Hydra. It is a serpentine water monster in Greek and Roman mythology. Its lair was the lake of Lerna in the Argolid, which was also the site of the myth of the Danaids. Lerna was reputed to be an entrance to the underworld, and archaeology has established it as a sacred site older than Mycenaean Argos. In the canonical Hydra myth, the monster is killed by Hercules as the second of his 12 labors. According to Hesiod, the Hydra was the offspring of Typhon and Echidna. It had poisonous breath and blood so virulent that even its scent was deadly. The Hydra possessed many heads, the exact number of which varies according to the source. Later versions of the Hydra story add a regeneration feature to the monster. For every head chopped off, the Hydra would regrow 2 heads. Heracles required the assistance of his nephew Iolaus to cut off all of the monster's heads and burn the neck using a sword and fire. The oldest extant Hydra narrative appears in Hesiod's The Agonic, while the oldest images of the monster are found on a pair of bronze fibulae dating to about 700 before Christ. In both these sources, the main motifs of the Hydra myth are already present: a multi-headed serpent that is slain by Heracles and Iolaus. While these fibulae portray a 6-headed Hydra, its number of heads was first fixed in writing by Alcaeus, who gave it 9 heads. Simonides, writing a century later, increased the number to 50, while Euripides, Virgil, and others did not give an exact figure. Heraclitus the paradoxographer rationalized the myth by suggesting that the Hydra would have been a single-headed snake accompanied by its offspring. Like the initial number of heads, the monster's capacity to regenerate lost heads varies with time and author. The first mention of this ability of the Hydra occurs with Euripides, where the monster grew back a pair of heads for each one severed by Heracles. In the Euthydemus of Plauto, Socrates likens Euthydemus and his brother Dionysiodorus to a Hydra of a sophistical nature who grows 2 arguments for every one refuted. Polyphatus, Ovid, and Diodorus Siculus concur with Euripides, while Servius has the Hydra grow back 3 heads each time. The Suda does not give a number. Depictions of the monster dating to about 500 before Christ show it with a double tail as well as multiple heads, suggesting the same regenerative ability at work, but no literary accounts have this feature. The Hydra had many parallels in ancient Near Eastern religions. In particular, Sumerian, Babylonian, and Assyrian mythology celebrated the deeds of the war and hunting god Ninurta. whom the Angam credited with slaying 11 monsters on an expedition to the mountains, including a 7-headed serpent and Bashmu, whose constellation was later associated by the Greeks with the Hydra. The constellation is also sometimes associated in Babylonian contexts with Marduk's dragon, the Mushashu. In third place is another mystical beast called Leviathan. Leviathan is a creature with the form of a sea serpent noted in theology and mythology. It is referenced in several books of the Hebrew Bible, including Psalms, the Book of Job, the Book of Isaiah, and the Book of Amos. It is also mentioned in the Book of Enoch. The Leviathan is a demonic dragon, often threatening to eat the damned after life and an embodiment of chaos. In the end, it is annihilated. Christian theologians identify Leviathan with the demon of the deadly sin envy. According to the Ophite diagram, the Leviathan encapsulates the space of the material world. The Leviathan of the Book of Job is a reflection of the older Canaanite Latin, a primeval monster defeated by the god Baal-Hadad. Parallels to the role of Mesopotamian Tiamat defeated by Marduk have long been drawn in comparative mythology, as have been wider comparisons to dragon and world serpent narratives such as Indra slaying Vrtra or Thor slaying Jormungandr. Leviathan also figures in the Hebrew Bible as a metaphor for a powerful enemy, notably Babylon. Some 19th century scholars pragmatically interpreted it as referring to large aquatic creatures, such as the crocodile. The word later came to be used as a term for great whale, and for sea monsters in general. Cthulhu is a fictional cosmic entity created by writer Lovecraft. It was first introduced in his short story The Call of Cthulhu, published by the American pulp magazine Weird Tales in 1928. Considered a great old one within the pantheon of Lovecraftian cosmic entities, this creature has since been featured in numerous popular culture references. Lovecraft depicts it as a gigantic entity worshipped by cultists, in a shape like a green octopus, dragon, and a caricature of human form. Its name was given to the Lovecraft-inspired universe, the Cthulhu mythos, where it exists with its fellow entities. In The Call of Cthulhu, Lovecraft describes a statue of Cthulhu as a monster of vaguely anthropoid outline, but with an octopus-like head whose face was a mass of feelers, a scaly, rubbery-looking body, prodigious claws on hind and forefeet, and long, narrow wings behind. Cthulhu is said to resemble a green octopus, dragon, and a human caricature, hundreds of meters tall, with webbed, human-looking arms and legs and a pair of rudimentary wings on its back. Its head is depicted as similar to the entirety of a gigantic octopus, with an unknown number of tentacles surrounding its supposed mouth. Invented by Lovecraft in 1928, the name Cthulhu was probably chosen to echo the word Chthonic, ancient Greek of the earth, as apparently suggested by Lovecraft himself at the end of his 1923 tale, The Rats in the Walls. The Chthonic, or earth-dwelling, spirit has precedence in numerous ancient and medieval mythologies, often guarding mines and precious underground treasures, notably in the Germanic dwarfs and the Greek chalybes, telchines, or dactyls. Lovecraft transcribed the pronunciation of Cthulhu as Khlul feet Hlu, and said, the first syllable pronounced gutturally and very thickly. The U is about like that in full, and the first syllable is not unlike Klul in sound, hence the H represents the guttural thickness. Joshi points out, however, that Lovecraft gave different pronunciations on different occasions. According to Lovecraft, this is merely the closest that the human vocal apparatus can come to reproducing the syllables of an alien language. Cthulhu has also been spelled in many other ways, including Chulu, Cthulhu, and Cthulhu. The name is often preceded by the epithet great, dead, or dread. And the leader of today's top becomes Kraken. The Kraken is a legendary sea monster of gigantic size and cephalopod-like appearance in Scandinavian folklore. According to the Norse sagas, the Kraken dwells off the coasts of Norway and Greenland and terrorizes nearby sailors. Authors over the years have postulated that the legend may have originated from sightings of giant squids that may grow to 13-15 meters in length. The sheer size and fearsome appearance attributed to the Kraken have made it a common ocean-dwelling monster in various fictional works. The Kraken has been the focus of many sailors passing the North Atlantic, and especially sailors from the Nordic countries. Throughout the centuries, the Kraken has been a staple of sailors' superstitions and mythos. The English word Kraken is taken from the modern Scandinavian languages, originating from the Old Norse word Kraken. In both Norwegian and Swedish, Kraken is the definite form of crake, a word designating an unhealthy animal or something twisted. In modern German, crake means octopus, but can also refer to the legendary Kraken, Kraken is also an Old Norwegian word for octopus, and an old euphemism in Swedish for whales, used when the original word became taboo as it was believed it could summon the creatures. Since the late 18th century, the Kraken has been depicted in a number of ways, primarily as a large octopus-like creature, and it has often been alleged that Pontoppidan's Kraken might have been based on sailors' observations of the giant squid. The Kraken is also depicted to have spikes on its suckers. In the earliest descriptions, however, the creatures were more crab-like than octopus-like, and generally possessed traits that are associated with large whales rather than with giant squid. An ancient, giant cephalopod resembling the legendary Kraken has been proposed as responsible for the deaths of ichthyosaurs during the Triassic period. That's all for today. Thank you for watching this video. Leave your comments, subscribe, and see you later. Goodbye.